The results of the same-sex marriage postal survey were clear. Australia voted in favour of equality. The Marriage Equality Bill has passed, and the mandate to deliver inclusive sexuality education in schools is more pressing than ever. LGBTQi+, inclusive sexuality education should embrace diversity in the classroom, the staff room and in whole-of-school policies. LGBTQi+, inclusive sexuality education reduces negative stereotypes and biases, creating a safer school environment for LGBTQi+ students. When schools adopt inclusive policies across all school curricula, not just sexuality education, all students feel safer. How many young Australians identify as LGBTQi+? The acronym stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex and more. Adolescents might not want a specific label, or might not feel safe disclosing their identities or attractions. So, we are talking about a varied group, and about a lot of our country's young people. Around 10% of Australian secondary students are same-sex attracted. A smaller percentage will identify as gay, lesbian or bisexual. Gender identity is how an individual conceives of themselves as male, female, both or neither. Usually, this develops in the preschool years. Read more. When do children develop their gender identity? We don't have good Australian data yet, but a national survey in New Zealand found 1.2% of secondary students identified as transgender. About 1.7% of children are intersex, which means they are born with physical sex characteristics that don't fit medical and social norms for female or male bodies. A recent survey suggested intersex adults are more likely to be non-heterosexual. What does LGBTQ+, inclusive sexuality education look like? The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization defines comprehensive sexuality education as being age-appropriate, culturally relevant, scientifically accurate and non-judgmental and acknowledges diversity. This means it includes information about, and resources relevant to, sexuality and gender-diverse students. Comprehensive sexuality education also addresses values, relationships, consent and pleasure, and provides information about access to relevant health services. It has a positive impact on knowledge, decision-making skills, communication with parents or carers, and use of protection against pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections, STIs, for sexually active students. Read more. Rational, modern sex education is a must for all Aussie kids. Canada and some states in the USA already mandate LGBTQ+, inclusive sexuality education. Australia now has a national curriculum on health and physical education that generally adopts these principles. The problems are insufficient time, training, resources and policy support. This makes it difficult for many of our teachers to cover the range of topics that constitute comprehensive sexuality education for all students. A massive 44% of same-sex attracted Australian young people rated their sex education at school as not useful at all. What do young people want to know?